And it's time now to look at the women's draw at the US Open this year. It is, of course, headlined by the top seed, Arina Sabalenka, who is at the top of the draw. She's not got maybe the easiest quarter. She's got Elena Rybakina floating around in there as the ninth seed, and that's someone who beat her very recently. Paulini is also in there as the Cincinnati finalist. And Leylah Fernandez as well, who had a good form a couple of weeks ago now. Clara Tausen as well as another seed. Quite a stacked draw for Sabalenka. Is she going to carry on her sort of good slam run and make it deep here? Or do you think someone might, cause her to break that run of form?
I
Chris?
actually think it could be happening. I don't want to kind of spoil my predictions, but I think danger lurks in all areas of her draw. Maybe not so much in the first round. I can't say that I expect her to lose that one, but I do think there are some challenges in there. You know, you've got the likes of Leylah Fernandez, who has obviously picked up a title in the run-in.
Former US Open finalist.
Exactly. She does love the big stage, especially at the US Open. The crowd really kind of cheering her on, and she kind of thrives off that energy. But I do think a certain Dane, I'm not just saying this because I'm based in Copenhagen, but Clara Tausen has been playing some fantastic tennis. She's beaten the Wimbledon champion, Iga Swiatek, and she's also beaten Sabalenka this year. And she's also beaten Rybakina at Wimbledon. So I think that's not as easy as it looks for a 14th seed. She's a big player who could do a lot of damage. But I would say, and something that Joel, you may disagree with, I don't think Rybakina is going to do as well as she could in this section because she's got such a poor record at the US Open.
Yeah, she does. I didn't realize how poor.
Never been
her
past the
record
third
is.
round.
Yeah.
So is she going to break that this year, Joel?
I'm still backing Rybakina, and a part of that for me is because of the draw that she's got. I mean, Pareja in the first round. I mean, by the way, this is just a really random quarter. We've got 7 qualifiers and 3 wildcards. There's a lot going on here.
And none of them are Venus Williams, which seems a bit unfortunate.
We've also got Emma Raducanu unseeded, but she could play Rybakina in the third round. So that could be a right call.
Very tasty. Who do you think would come out on top of that if we get that one? Kim? Doubles partners turn foes.
Yeah, I know. Emma's obviously had some really close matches with Sabalenka lately. Would it be something of a similar nature with Rybakina? I've got Rybakina kind of going further, so I'll stick with that. But I think Raducanu, she'd have Kudermetova in the second round before that. So that, she might not get through that, to be honest.
But a good draw potentially for round 3 and to give herself a chance against some big players. We can test her new coaching situation to see how that's doing. But I thought she did look pretty good off the ground in the mixed doubles. So I'm not tempting fate in the same way that, you don't like to predict Nadal to win when he was playing Kim. But I do think she is a dark horse here. And probably this is the best she's looked heading into a slam in quite some time.
Yeah, former champion, of course, as well. Yeah. We've also got Vondrousova, another former Grand Slam champion.
She's dropped off since that Berlin title. I mean,
lurking.
That feels like a fever dream.
And Ayala as well does open against Tausen. She had a great run of form about 6 months ago, but we'd like to see her go deep at a slam, wouldn't we, and break through there.
You haven't mentioned Goatnet, Magdalenette. Yeah. Do you think that she can upset the 32 seed McCartney Kessler?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Definitely. And I mean, also Paulini, not spoken about Paulini.
Oh, Paulini.
Who got to the final in Cincinnati. One of the in-form players. I mean, yeah. She could... I don't know. I think she again could be an interesting one to watch if Rybakina, as you said, hasn't got the greatest record here. Maybe Paulini is the one to profit from that.
She played really well against Iga in that final. That was a high quality final they played in Cincinnati. Again, she's not had great form here previously. No. The 4th round was her best result last year. But I was thinking you can't really look at the form book when it comes to Paulini because she'd never really done anything on grass at all before she made the final. So it'd be interesting to see if she can actually push on because she hasn't had the sort of Grand Slam year you'd expect from someone who had 2 finals last year and is ranked in the top 8. So I think she'll be looking for a big result here.
Yes. And let's have a look at the second quarter. Mira Andreeva and JPEG are the top two seeds in this section. But we also have the Rogers Cup Coupe Roger champion Victoria Mboko as the 22nd
It's not the Rogers Cup
seed.
anymore,
It's not
Kim.
the Rogers Cup, is it?
We just call it the Canadian Open.
I don't know what it's called now.
Got to be the
sorry.
National Bank.
They've changed banks.
Yeah.
Everyone knows what I mean. I do apologise. But will it be?
What year are we
Mboko?
in, Kim? Yeah.
Yeah, it's Lizzie Davenport in the draw.
She's going to win it, right?
Venus Williams is though.
Well, she is,
That's
yeah.
very true, actually.
Yeah, what do you think of this draw, this section? Who is going deep here? Is Mboko going to be able to continue her good form?
This draw, I think, is so open. Given, I just think the top seeds in this are not playing great tennis at the moment. Not really had too much talk around Jessica Pegula of late. I think Mira Andreeva's coming back from injury as well. Yeah, it feels very, very open to me. That's why I think it's so exciting that we've got Mboko in this draw. But before we get too excited, she's got Barbora Krejcikova in round one. So that's a really fascinating contest to kind of look forward to as well.
It will be good, won't it? I also was looking at this and I was thinking it's actually hard to pick someone who you really think is going to make the quarterfinals here. Just because, Pegula had that shot loss at Wimbledon. I was going to say Shromkova's actually playing really well. I actually watched one of her matches over in Mexico the other night, which I thought was I was very impressed with. She's physically very strong, and anyone who Kim has an eye on surely is going to do something big at some point. But
at some point in their career,
yeah, at some point, just not sure when. We have also got Azarenka in there as well. We've got Wimbledon semi-finalist Belinda Bencic, who's also not necessarily had the most form, and another American seed, Emma Navarro, who got dumped out over in Mexico already as well, having dumped Yannick Sinner for the mixed doubles. So,
and she got to the semis last year as well, didn't she?
Well, she's had some great form at this tournament previously, so that's an interesting one. Can Ostapenko spring a surprise? I think it's definitely whoever is able to seize the moment can definitely bag themselves a really good spot, potentially at a semi-final.
Yes, this one's pretty open, so it'd be an interesting one to watch. Third quarter, we'll go into the second half of the draw now. Coco Gauff, third seed, former champ, struggling on serve, I think it's fair to say. She's just hired Sabalenka's former biomechanics expert, the guy who really helped transform Sabalenka's serve. So, and let's hope that will help Coco Gauff, because she's really not been in great form.
What do you make
lately.
of the timing of that? The fact that it's happened just before a Grand Slam. Is that suggesting panic stations? My serve's not ready for the US Open?
It's really strange to do it at this point. Normally that's something you'd work on over the off season, for example. I think that's what Sabalenka did when she fixed her serve. It makes sense that she's reached out to the same person because there were a lot of the same issues that existed, especially around that second serve. And there's so much more she can get from it. It could be such a weapon rather than her Achilles heel. I did think it was a bit surprising. There were these images of her out there in the rain, still on the practice court, the only player on the practice court in the heavy rain in Flushing Meadows. And she was out there with her new biomechanics coach or expert, because she really is running out of time to fix it before the US Open. And it does just make you think, actually, she would have been much better to potentially have tried to partner a little bit sooner, because it is desperate stations if you're trying to do this the week before the US Open. Change your service action to fix it. Maybe you'll get a couple of tips, but this is something that takes a long time to kind of reconstruct part of a service action. And I don't think that necessarily you'll have the most confidence in that shot if you only changed it the week before.
I mean, she's also sacked her coach, Matt Daly, as part of this recent move. So a lot of changes going on. She's got Tomljanović first round, who is no easy walkover, is she? She can really play some great stuff. So, yeah, a bit of a tricky one for Coco Gauff. I'd be really curious to see if this expert can make some, instant changes. But we'll all be curiously watching Coco's serve and seeing how many double faults she can clock up or avoid in her opener.
Kim, the question I had when I looked at this quarter, is this Naomi Osaka's time? Because you just spoke about coaches. Naomi Osaka, no longer with Patrick Mouratoglou, seemingly playing some great tennis since Wimbledon.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she's got a really nice draw here.
Yeah, opens against Greek Minnen, then maybe Haley Baptiste and Yakov a second round, Kazatkina. But if Coco Gauff's not going to make it, then yeah, she's got a pretty nice section. Madison Keys would probably be the toughest opponent that she may meet in the quarterfinal. But yeah, I think this is her best chance since she's come back from having her child to go deep at a slam.
And
And
being
she'll really need
seeded
to make the most
helps,
of it.
doesn't it? It's the first time she's been
Yeah,
seeded
of
since she's come
course.
back from her maternity leave, and she had so many bad draws against top
Mm.
players in the first couple of rounds. So it'll be interesting to see if she is given that bit of space, if she can do something, because we've always thought the US Open would be the place where, whatever happened early in the year, it tends to be US Open, Australian Open is where she gets those results. It's where all her slams have come from. But I was going to say, we haven't talked about some very interesting kind of competitors in this section because Caroline Garcia, this is the last
I
time you
know.
might see her in a draw sheet. I believe that's correct, that she's wrapping up here, unless she is going to play in the Fed Cup or something like that. How do you feel about her draw? And do you think she's got a shot at a last couple of wins?
I think she could beat Rakhimova first round. Don't think she'd get through Kazatkina, but you never know. The freedom of knowing this is your last tournament can totally change things, can't it? So I hope she has a final good hurrah. And we'll bid farewell to the Renaissance. We also have Venus Williams as a wild card. She's up against Muchova. So where do you think we were talking the other day about where her match was going to be scheduled? Where do you think the organisers are going to put this one?
I mean, night session, Ash, 100%.
Yeah, because
Joel?
it's against
Ooh.
Muchova, fellow seed. Well, not fellow
Oh,
seed, a seed.
day session first on, get the crowd
Oh
in.
no,
Really?
no.
I saw
That's
Venus
harsh.
Williams play her last match, and that was against Greek Minnen, and that was a night session match. So I think
Mm.
surely against Muchova, that gets you
Well,
bumped up.
well, interestingly, I've just looked up their head-to-head. It is 1-0 to Muchova, and that match was at the US Open, round one, 2020. Muchova 6-3, 7-5. So
Well,
it's a
we've
bit of
waited
Very
5
good year.
years. It better be
5 years
worth the
in the
wait.
making.
Exactly.
And Katie Boulter's up against Marta Kostiuk. Boulter not seeded anymore for the Brits, so yeah, she's slipped down, not being in the best of
Going
form.
going well
So
this week though.
yeah, doing all right in tennis in the land so far,
Yeah.
so good. I also liked that there's Serrana against Solana with Castella
Oh,
playing
wow.
Sierra. So
God, that is a tricky one to see. I was going to say, I also think we should maybe christen this section the on the way out section because Kvitova's also here as
Oh
well.
yes.
Hadn't really clocked that one. I'm not really sure why there's not a wild card next to her name. I guess she's using her sort of protected ranking to get into this tournament. She could potentially face Madison Keys, who's a player that we haven't talked about yet either, the Australian Open champion back on hard courts. Do you think that that could be a tight match if it happens? And do you think that Keys could potentially go deep again at a slam? Kim, you're nodding your head furiously.
well, I think yeah, she's got quite a nice section, and I think back on a hard court, she's pretty consistent at slams. I think she was ill, wasn't she, when she lost at Wimbledon? I think. So I think she's yeah, it's a good one to go for. I think
Yeah.
certainly probably the best American to come out of this one at the moment. I think
Would
of
you
this
would you expect
quarter.
Keys to go further than Coco Gauff?
I think so.
I kept trying to think, did I? I'm going to say yes, but I can't remember what
We'll
I've
find out in
actually
a minute when we do
predicted.
our
Yeah.
predictions. Final quarter, though, we've got another American in here as the eighth seed. Anisimova, of course, the last time she played at a slam, she didn't lose a game. She didn't win a game in the Wimbledon final. So we'll have to see how she makes her way back onto a Grand Slam court. She may face Wimbledon champion Iga Swiatek in the quarterfinal because she's in this section as well. And actually, Swiatek's draw looks pretty okay. Do you think this is kind of hers to lose, Joel?
Yeah, I mean, I think of the top players, she has been given the easiest draw. I don't really see any big changes there, apart from maybe Kalinskaya, which Chris, I know
I'm going to have to
got
tell
big,
you.
you got big opinions on that, but
I've
I'll
got
just
a
say that's
pastry. Yeah, I've got a pastry riding on that, Joel. I made a bet with one of my friends that I think I just saw Kalinskaya the other day and I thought she really does hit the ball well. She did lose to Iga Swiatek in that one. So I think my prediction, I said watch out, she's going to make it to the final. I'm not thinking that she will now. But on the Iga side of things, you said that there's not necessarily someone that could probably beat her in this section. Do you think that this just means that like she'll be? I think someone's kind of suggested it's kind of a cakewalk to the semi-finals.
I personally think so.
A pastry walk.
I'd almost
I think
be
a
like
bakery is opening.
I think, like she could get to the semi-finals quite comfortably without dropping a set.
I know what we should do.
Draw.
How many bagels will she deliver on her way?
Does that include
semi-finals?
Breadsticks? Bagels only?
How many bakery items we'll go for?
Oh, okay.
I'm going to say semi-finals would be 5 matches. So I'm going to say 6.
Oh, that's big. That's a lot. I'm going to say 4.
Is this bagels and breadsticks or
Yes.
just bagels?
Yes.
Oh, right. 4 as well.
Right, okay.
Had to think
I'm
then,
taking
yeah.
you both on then, yeah.
Surely there'll be one in the Susan Lamons or Valerie Glosman second round.
Kim.
Oh.
But I mean, is there anyone else like Deanna Schneider, Alexandrova, Haddad-Maia, Sophia Kenin? Any sort of thoughts on those players? Svitolina, Chris, you normally
I always
Svitolina?
back Svitolina. I was very disappointed with that Wimbledon loss. I do think she's got a good draw. She's got a good record against Nisimova. She's beaten her a number of times. So I'm hoping that she can do something. Also, Lois Brasson is back in a slam draw, having missed Wimbledon. And also something that I would like to see is Sevastova has played pretty good tennis here before. She's had some upsets. So I think she actually might make the draw a little bit easier for Iga if she takes out Alexandrova on the way. But one final question on this section. Who's going to win the Battle of the Marias? We've got Maria Sakkari versus Tatiana Maria. Who's your money on, Joel?
Probably be Sakkari, to be honest. At this point, Maria, fantastic grass court player. Not much elsewhere, so I'm going to have to go with Sakkari.
Okay, I think we're all in agreement with that.
Yes. Well,
I do think that's a nice part of the draw, though. I mean, Sonny Cartal is very near there. Has Haddad-Maia first round. I could see Cartal potentially doing the upset there, and if she does that, quite a nice passage through to round 3 potentially against Svitolina.
I think
getting
Collins,
another tattoo somewhere.
Collins could take out Anisimova. She's playing her last tournament of the year. She's announced. She looked pretty fired up in the mixed double. So we've not talked about her yet. And I think probably I'd back her to take out Amanda. I'm not sure that I feel I've got the same feeling you had about Casper. I've not got for Anisimova.
No, I just think the pressure, all that expectation as well. The maybe the Wimbledon final will.
Would you even like to see Anisimova versus Swiatek again, given what happened last time?
Yes, of course. I want to see what happens. We love that sort of drama, don't we?
Well, Chris has said Swiatek is going to have 6 bagels or breadstick.
I might need that contest to happen.
He needs that to happen.
Yeah.
Right. Let's make some predictions then, quarter by quarter, as we did before. Chris, coming to you first. Quarter 1, who have you got?
I would like Joel to go first, actually, because I'm not very confident in this one. Yeah,
you're not changing it last minute, are you?
I'm a bit panicked.
Can't do that.
I've gone. I've gone. I'll start us off with a fairly safe prediction. Sabalenka Rybakina.
Famous last words. Fairly safe. I've also gone for the same, Sabalenka Rybakina. Chris?
I'm going to stick with what I have written down here. I've gone for Tausen Paolini.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. Quarter 2, I've gone for Samsonova against Mboko. So Victoria is coming through. Chris?
I've also gone for Samsonova, but I'm going to go for her round 1 opponent. I think Krejcikova is going to make the quarterfinals.
And Joel?
I've got Jessica Pegula. She's got to find form at some point. So I've gone JPEG and Mboko.
Okay.
So 2 for Mboko.
Sorry, Coco.
2 Mbokos. Yeah.
Mboko over Coco. Okay, quarter 3. I've gone for Keys against Osaka. And Chris?
I've actually done exactly the same. I think that
snap.
Yeah, Gauff might not make it out of there.
Yeah. And Joel?
Well, so I just said sorry, Coco. I just had this for some reason. I had this vision that Coco was in Mboko's quarter, but that is completely wrong because I put
In
in
your
my
quarterfinal.
quarter three, Keys versus Gauff. Gauff is gonna. What I find fascinating about Gauff is that despite all these troubles on her serve, she's it's not like she's not competitive and winning matches. She's still playing, good enough tennis to beat the majority of players. So, yeah, I'm still backing Coco Gauff to an extent, let's say. So I've got Keys Gauff.
We do set the bar high for her. And quarterfinal 4, Chris?
As always, Svitolina, and then Swiatek, because I need her to get those bakery goods on her way there.
Svitolina is such a stalwart of your predictions. It's
I actually
great.
don't. I need to look at the last time I didn't predict her for a quarterfinal.
And Joel?
I've got Anisimova Swiatek.
Okay, the bakery is happening potentially. I've gone rogue. I didn't feel like Anisimova was going to make it there. I thought I've got to put a rogue person in. So I've gone for Ashlyn Kruger against Iga Swiatek.
You always like one rogue, really
I
rogue
do.
one, and I think that
Yep.
probably lives up to that.
Kruger.
Ashlyn
Love it.
Kruger.
Yeah. On her home, home slam, she's going to do it. Semi-finals, right? Who are your 4 players? Chris?
I've just realised that means I didn't go for Sabalenka. I was about to say Sabalenka. I'm not. I'm saying Paulini, Samsonova.
And?
Keys, Swiatek.
Okay, nice. Joel?
Yeah, I've got Keys Swiatek in the bottom half. Sabalenka Pegula top half.
I've also got Keys Swiatek, so we are in very much agreement there. And I've gone for Sabalenka against Mboko.
Mboko get into the semi-finals.
Well, it was either that or Samsonova, but neither was actually convincing me. But it's
Neither
just the
was
way the
singing
draw
to me either.
Okay.
Yeah.
happens. And your finalist and champion, Chris.
I actually think we're going to get a repeat of the Cincinnati final. I think Paulini's going to make another final. I think she's going to end up with another dish, unfortunately, and not a trophy. So I've gone for Swiatek winning that one.
She'll hold a nice dinner party with all those plates, though, which, maybe she
How
could
many
dine
US
out.
Open
around.
towels
Yeah.
is she going to knit? That's the
Yeah.
bigger question.
They've actually
Well,
ordered
they're not as
more.
nice as
Yeah.
Wimbledon ones,
Yes.
though, are they? Yeah. Joel, what about yourself?
I've gone for an old tradition. Sabalenka Swiatek Grand Slam final.
1v2, as always.
1v2. And I've got Arina Sabalenka winning as the top seed.
Okay.
I think she's going to win a Grand Slam this year.
I've gone for Sabalenka Swiatek as well, but I have gone for Swiatek to win. And I shall have some strawberries and pasta to celebrate if she does so.
Have you had any strawberries and pasta recently, Kim?
I haven't. No, I've had strawberries and pasta, just not together. But
The
I
weather's
wouldn't.
turned.
I would
Yeah.
not have it again. Yeah. So if she wins, I'll get some out.
Okay,
and
great.
combine them. Absolutely. What about a sort of out there prediction then for the women's draw? Anyone got any thoughts? I think Gauff is going to lose to Jessica Bouzas Monero in the second round.
Oh
Ooh.
wow! I mean,
like
you
that.
do love a bit of Jessica. I've actually gone for something similar. I don't think Gauff is going to make it past round 2, so I think potentially Vekic could cause a bit of a problem there. I'm just not seeing the sort of tennis that she's capable of playing. And I think under pressure, if you change that service action, I'm not convinced.
Joel?
I've got Arango getting double bageled by Swiatek in the first round.
But that's 2 bagels already in round 1.
Famously-
You said
Bold.
4 on the way to the semi-final.
I know, 50%. Famously, because Arango got double bageled by Navarro at the Merida Open.
Famously, did you say?
I said famously.
I remember that
Oh.
well.
Can't say I was watching.
So I think she's going to get served. I'm sorry, Arango, but I think she's going to get served another double bagel.
I mean, I'm talking about Emma Navarro. I've got her losing in the first round to Wong. I just don't think Navarro's going to defend any of her points. Yeah.
I think that's not a bad guess at all. I think I've also gone quite bold, and I've written quite a lot of this in capitals, so I'm not going to scream it at you, but I think that's what I was feeling at the time. I think Clara's going to take out Sabalenka, and that Sabalenka will end the year slamless, is what I've written in capitals. I just think she doesn't handle the pressure cooker that can be the later rounds of Grand Slams. And I think a bit like, when Serena had won all the slams coming into it, it's almost the reverse. She's not trying to get the Grand Slam, she's trying to get a Grand Slam. And I think it's not going to happen for her.
Nope, I think that's a fair prediction. Well, watch this space. Listeners, let us know what you thought about our predictions there. We'll be putting them all out on social channels in due course, so you can
Judge
let
us
us
at
know
your
your
will.
thoughts then.